and I'll be behind on a lot of shit,
Look,
bro.
the banks is closing. The hospitals are shutting down their electronics that affects the equipment and the IT shit, right? You got a motherfucking receiving tide that been out for goddamn 3 days in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Probably longer than that now.
Hmm.
That shit got to come back. The longer it's out, the worse it's gonna be when it returns. Because
I
the
would
water
say
it
like
got to go somewhere. It ain't just disappeared.
it do. I would say like okay, so like you got colonizers. Colonizers come to foreign lands, and then you have people, natural people that's live inside of those lands that take care of nature. The colonizers come through, they tear down nature, and then build their cities up. North America, this continent was a forest. We have forests and woods over here. We didn't have jungles. You feel me?
Look,
But it was all nature. The colonizer come through, tear down nature, and build their cities up. Along with their cities, they bring systems, which is religion, slave system, which is the modern day work system. They bring all nationality because the colonizers put nationality on not you already know, bro. Put nationalities on our indigenous ancestors, but this what I'm saying, like Babylon is anything that's not dealing with the natural people and in the natural order of life. There's no way we should be working jobs. There's no way there's only 13 families that hold all the wealth, and we have poor people. Like mental illness don't exist in nature. Like indigenous people don't have mental illness problems. Poverty don't exist in nature. You feel me? You know, there may be a class ranking system, but it's like I'm talking about the indigenous people that's the closest to nature. You know how close they is to nature if they don't speak in language and they still speaking in sounds and clicks. These are like natural people. They will be the closest to Big Mama if anything. So it's like since we got cities that's built, you feel me, and we have city owner. A city owner is a Nimrod. You want to become a
we
city owner?
just took the look. All of those charters have been rescinded because they was fraudulent to begin with. They
Mm,
was predicated up on a constructed fraud. The
okay.
argument of we the people, the indigenous tribes across the land, according to the Iroquois Constitution and the birthright to the land. Because they never validated none of their contracts, they never upheld any of their treaties, non-performance closed them out.
Exactly.
Now, right now, what we looking at, all of the banks folding up, Wall Street about to crash, the belly about to fall out of the fraudulent ass mortgage market. Now the people got to be protected.
Hey, hold
That's
on. You can't hold on. You can't skim past that. You gotta backtrack. You say the fraudulent ass mortgage scams. That's a fact because it takes 30 days to build a house that we gotta pay a mortgage on for 30 years. If that ain't the biggest scam, like this shit, this shit crazy.
look.
It takes
This
30
is
days
what
to
you don't
build a
know about the
motherfucker.
mortgage. This is where the fraud came in. When you go in to get a mortgage, you're not getting a mortgage on the house. You sign a piece of paper at closing. The house is paid for with your signature. When you took the signature out and paid off the house with your signature,
Mm-hmm.
according to the bankruptcy, it automatically gave you possession of the house right then and there. But here's what happened. They gave you another piece of paper where you agreed to pay if they take out a loan in your name for the value of the house. So they make you pay their loan back with interest to them, and they get all of that scot free.
Hey, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a fucking scam if it ain't. Hey, they clever as fuck, Joe. That's why I'm saying like these hey, it's deep, man. Make it.
All of it with frauds. This is
Make,
what we. It's already been proven,
yeah.
and this what I'm telling you. Now we seeing the manifestation of the chiefs across the land calling the markets in, basically.
Mm,
You see how the Pope called all the Vatican money back?
mm-hmm.
We called back all of the contracts that we fought on, put the organic people, even though we didn't sign them, they alleged we signed them. So
Mm,
because they never performed their part of the treaty, because we were never supposed to figure out we was already here.
right.
So they never honored any of the treaties. So
Right.
the
Exactly.
non-performance gave us the right to serve the eviction to close the de facto corporation that was an interim government established under George Washington with the Crown of England, um, in order to establish a interim government until we was able to restore the land after the war. But nobody never told us. They kept that shit a secret. And then
Right.
they took a move. They took the move with telling us we was from Africa. They told us we wasn't POWs, that we were
Mm-hmm.
slaves.
Exactly.
Right? So now we thinking that we got to tie to Africa, but the people over in Africa say, what the fuck you talking about? You from over there.
Right. Exactly.
So when Garvey came along with the Pan-Africanism and make us make these what we call confraternity allegiances.
Mm.
This is forming bonds and connection by speaking to people all around the world. Instead of just speaking to the people here that's telling us bald-faced lies like we came over on slave ships.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else thinking Pan-Africanism is saying we all came from Africa. That's bullshit.
They don't even know who the pan god was. You feel me?
Well,
And that's a whole
in,
nother
in the
topic.
in the political lingo, Pan-Africanism or pan anything before political idea mean that it's an idea that covers the globe. And it's short for Pangea, when the world was one.
You ever heard of the god the ancient god Pan?
Yeah, the
Pan?
flute god with the horn flute god with the goat legs.
The devil. You feel me? The devil. This should be crazy, Joe. But hey, Mr. Make It Rain, Marhaban, that's my Muslim brother. Marhaban Bika. So what's the situation with Philly and how you see it? Uh Philly definitely got a dark cloud over it.
They put a curse
It's
on Philly. The settlers put a curse on Philly.
you
That's
can
why
see it.
that's when they moved the capital. Because Philly was our capital.
Man, Philly
So
is going. That's like they like Chicago out there. You feel it's on like it's something. It's like you can just look at that city. It's a dark cloud over it. You can barely see the stars in Chicago.
that's
So I
that's the innocent blood.
that's the innocent blood. Mm,
That shit crying for redemption. It's time to pay up.
mm,
Philly right now, they don't realize it, but when they see the leadership step out front, it's gonna click. Because they gonna
hmm
tell them that we've been turned against each other by a foreign invader.
You think
Pump
that's
the
gonna
brakes
matter?
for a minute before you try to kill your brother. Listen to what I'm telling you.
You think that's gonna matter though, bro? I think it's deeper than that though, Rob. Because from my understanding, from what I be seeing in life, bro, like you feel me, I'm 33, so like in the 90s, you feel weed and liquor, you feel me, alcohol, even in the early 2000s. Now you got motherfucking pharmaceuticals. Once the higher the elites got the youth hooked on pharmaceuticals such as Xanax, Percocets, lean. Once that shit starting to be like popping, Joe, that's when you see more treacherous acts of violence. More innocent people getting killed is because of the drugs. And that's why I say the drug dealers are sorcerers. You feel me? Because a spell was
Pharmakeia means sorcery.
exact point blank period. And then in ancient times, a curse was used to cause affliction through a disease or a virus. That's why a curse has cures. The same word, just the letters is scrambled. But a spell was caused through addiction, drugs or addiction. Spells are meant to control people. Curses are meant to cause affliction through disease and virus. Spells, drugs, and addiction. So it's like, that's why I say like drug dealers are like when I see these dope fiends walking around this motherfuckers nodding off and mid walk, I already know somebody put a root on them. Somebody put it's somebody in this community doing voodoo. You feel
Look,
me? Witches,
look,
cause
listen.
like crack it. Go ahead, bro.
That's a lot of times we taught in the church to cast a spell on ourselves.
In modern
So
times, we say the
when you see
spell
the
is a
people like
spelling.
that, right? And when a lot of times you see people like that, the ego who they perceive they are, they put a spell on them to keep them from being a total tyrant. So they
Mm,
use those drugs as the way to maintain that control of that beast.
definitely. And it's
That's
making
why they.
niggas
That's why they
docile.
took. Look. That's why they took all the more militant motherfuckers off heroin and gave
And
them
then
crack.
And look how they dressing now. You feel me? These niggas wearing skinny jeans with some big ass boots, big ass shoes on. You feel me? With skinny jeans, and it's like, gee, you can tell like the drugs that people doing now is demasculating men. You feel me? It's taking away their they testosterone and it's putting more estrogen in them. And you can tell by the
But that's
mentality of
cultural.
these
That's
niggas.
cultural, and then they also feeding a lot of estrogen in the water, right?
Yep.
They got estrogen in the water. They got estrogen in the cows and make them produce more milk, right? So you're getting overloaded with estrogen. Then if you're feeding any soy products to a boy, you increase the spike in estrogen. And any bodybuilder tell you that if you're going to be using a steroid, which is a testosterone booster, that you have to have a estrogen blocker in order to not the testosterone not to turn into estrogen, because the estrogen causes in high doses it causes the organs to start to deteriorate, right?
Mm.
Um,
I think somebody got a question for you. They say is Enlil still locked away?
and Leo not on Earth, and Leo been gone. Yeah, they just to say grow titties. They call that bitch tent in the workout world. And then they're using those steroids and also give them acne from hell. But you gotta have an estrogen blocker or them steroids to tear your organs up. Let me see. I ain't got no room to look down on nobody. I've been at the bottom my whole life.
Let me see. Yeah, we got more questions. Let me see. Prince ass funny as hell. Oh damn shit. He deleted. Oh damn. Let me try to pull it up.
Look, this is a known. Uh, if you know a shaman, okay, if Anu was to return, would you? No, Anu don't give two shits what we do on Earth, long as it don't affect Nibiru. The agreement that the Earth made with Nibiru was every 3,600 years they get a quantity of gold to sustain the atmosphere, and they'll give us whatever new technologies that they encounter in return for that. And all of Inky and Inlip kids, Marduk, they all have to leave. They can't stay here. Inky kids was worked in harmony with the earth, but Enlil and his kids, with all of this shit you see going on now to fuck us over, they had to leave. Inky, about a year ago, Inky came with a contingent and was given permission by the Andromeda beings, who was the ones stationed on the outside of Pluto, to come in and retrieve mining technology, which is they people. The mining technology is they mining supervisors, they Lulu Amalu handlers. So when they go, the Earthborn, we have to raise in vibration and frequency so that when we inherit the Earth, that we don't let nobody else come in and trick us and take this bitch over again.
Man. Hey,
Inky knew.
if we like you said, so we in a contract that we gotta pay, you feel me, motherfucker, the higher ups certain amount of atomic gold, basically, you feel me, every 3,600 years. So that would mean, and every 3,600 years they would keep updating our technology. So that would mean, Joe, then it's a being or a race of beings that's been on this motherfucker for thousands of years. Over, you feel me, like 3,600 years, because they every cycle, like
Yeah,
that's so we got a
they yeah, they've been here for a while. They came when Atlantis was here. Atlantis was its own species of human. And when you see the people that they got in Antarctica, when they finally showed the motherfuckers, you see what I'm talking about. Their arms and legs are skinny and longer than ours, right? And they don't look as mammalian as us, but they don't quite look reptilian either. They look more like some kind of amphibian. But
Mm.
these motherfuckers psychic dynamos. Our psychic abilities will come back online in time over the next couple generations. But these motherfuckers so out cold that if they was nefarious beings, that psychic ability, they can make us pretty much do what they want because we haven't developed. It's like a baby
Yeah.
learning how to walk.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Not hey, that shit deep because like if it's like so when we done with the star constellation, you feel me? I mean the Andromeda galaxy, you feel me? So this where the insectoids, you feel me, come from. So these motherfuckers like highly intelligent too. That's why I was trying to ask you like the other day, like if we was to encounter, one of these extraterrestrials, you feel me, like how will we know which ones the hostile ones and which ones is not? Somebody asked, do they have many of our people off world as slaves?
They got different worlds with different species of human on them.
I would
Humans is not always slaves. Some planets there's no such thing as a slave.
I,
Other planets is a straight motherfucking work camp.
I wouldn't. That's why I was saying like I wouldn't even say like you feel me like they got us. Their intentions is to enslave us. You feel me? Because if
They
they
was here
need
for survival purposes.
if they can do if they are these highly powerful beings, you feel me? They got all these psychic abilities. What do they need us to do anything for them for? You
They
feel me?
lazy.
I feel like it's if they was, you feel me? If they do need us, it'll be for a more divine purpose. You feel me?
Look,
Maybe some type of
they
genetics
first
or
needed us because they was lazy and they didn't want to do the work themselves.
but they got mental powers though.
Right. So
So they
they use a mental power to create something that was gonna do the work for them.
man, it's deep. So I mean, and I'm definitely familiar with the scriptures. You feel me? And then at least you feel me. The Anunnaki came from Nibiru. You feel me? To basically make they they made modern man, which is Homo sapiens sapien. I think they was dealing with like a Australopithecus or a Homo erectus. They spliced the DNA of a woman, of an ape woman, basically, and the DNA with the blood of the gods. And this is how they upgraded us our consciousness, which is Homo sapiens sapien, modern man. We can work, use tools, problem solve, things like this. And they upgraded our consciousness for us to be slaves. I understand it, but it's like when we dealing with these highly developed beings, you feel me? Do they really need us to slave for them? I think they need us for something else, though. They may need us for DNA purposes. You
We was
feel me?
also entertainment.
Maybe,
This
maybe.
is look, if you really pay attention to Earth. You got every kind of motherfucking shit show you want to see going on Earth. All you gotta do is just watch this shit play out. And you're gonna be sometimes you're gonna laugh, sometimes you're gonna cry, sometimes you're gonna get mad, wanna punch a motherfucker in the face. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through all of the experiences you go to a movie to see by watching Earth.
Mm, damn. No, somebody. So we got comments. Zaza, be quiet, bro. So yeah, we got questions, Joe. It's a lot of these. It's a few of these joints. So when we talking about building, I mean bending elements and teaching the kids to do the same. So most of us, you feel me, have had telekinetic experiences. You feel me in our life, and it happens when we kids. My first telekinetic experience that I can remember, you feel me, I had got suspended from school. Got a phone call from home. You feel me? School called my mom, and I got suspended, so I'm already knowing I'm finna get in trouble. She finna tear that ass up when she get off work. So I get off the school bus, go in the crib. As soon as I get in the crib, I was mad as hell because I'm thinking she finna be in the house, like screaming and shit. So wasn't nobody in the house though. So I drop my book bag at the door, and I walk in my room, mad as hell, as little ass boy, mad as hell. As soon as I walk into my room, the door slammed behind me. And I know for a fact I ain't pulled that door. but I ain't think of it nothing at that time. You feel me? Because I was, but as I look back on the experiences I had, you feel me? Those were telekinetic experiences. You feel me? When I was in school, when I was in like fourth grade, I used to talk too much. I used to be one of them kids that used to talk a lot. So my teacher always separated my desk. She put my desk up by her desk. You feel me? And I was like facing the chalkboard. My back was against the whole class, so I couldn't talk. I mean, I couldn't talk to nobody. But her desk, it was always a little fan at the desk, and I used to always catch myself staring at it, and it was moving. But soon as like I noticed, like soon as I stopped staring at it, it stopped spinning. You feel me? Slowly. You feel me? But it's like everybody just think. I'm pretty sure if you think deeply, you had a telekinetic experience to teach the kids how to tap into their abilities as far as like bending. You know, um, see if they can do it, without even telling them, like, I'm gonna teach you how to practice, how to do telekinesis. Just see if they can do it. Just put a light object, start with a light object, a piece of paper, maybe a feather, a piece of toilet paper, something very light, and just tell them to try to move that without touching it. You feel me? Try to move and see if they can do it. It's a lot of things we can, a lot of practices that we can do on a daily basis that enhance our, psychic abilities as far as telekinesis. But I mean, if you got any advice on that, definitely go ahead, bro.
See, the first thing is you gotta tell the child to remove the limitation is the first step. And you remove the limitation by telling them that they can develop the skill, but they have to develop it and it takes time and practice. The more
Hmm.
practice you put in, right? So then you have to start teaching them the mechanics of bending, right? Air
Exactly.
bending, water bending, fire bending. But when they understand the mechanics of one, they can begin to understand the mechanics of another one, right? So the first thing is the first practice of removing the limitation from the mental part by telling them that it's a process that don't happen overnight. It takes
Exactly.
practice and persistence. The child will understand it, but we don't want to tell them to do nothing that requires persistence because that's creating a strong character trait, and it goes
Exactly.
contrary to the social ego development.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely would definitely agree, man. And it's just, the child gonna do it, naturally. If it are some of us, you feel me? Most of us have had experiences and shit, man. And it be deep, like. And now that I look at it, you feel me? It be because I didn't walked outside, you feel me? And a bag was floating, you feel me? And then as soon as I stopped looking at it, you feel me? That motherfucker just stopped. And it be like little weird shit. It be like little subtle shit that you don't even think that's like, you feel me? Like, yo, that's you all the time. You feel me? So I mean, as far as like telekinesis, I would say, I mean, like if our bending, when we dealing with bending, you feel me? These abilities are psychic. These are psychic abilities. Like the way I teach it, you feel me? It's visualization in the beginning. You have to see the object moving. You feel me? How you want it to move. You have to see the object move. Now you raise your intention. You feel me? While you raising your intention, the mind must become void of thought. And this is why telekinesis is so hard because it's very hard for us to quiet the mind down because the mind is always thinking. If you have that much mind control where you can shut the mind off and become blank minded while keeping the intention raised, you have to keep the intention but lose the thought. Become the mind must become void, and if you raise your intention, that object will move. You practice this shit, you feel me? You get better and better at it. Start with light objects, then graduate to heavy objects. You feel me? But it's a lot of shit. You feel me? Like bro said, it's practice, consistent. There's the people I train with. You feel me, Joe? They've been practicing for 10, 15 plus years, almost 20 years, and they very strong. They pulling way heavier objects than me. I look like I'm doing something over here. But when y'all see who I'm training with, you feel these motherfuckers pulling way heavier objects. And they've been practicing way longer though. You feel me? If you into that shit, you gonna be practicing and you probably gonna be like, man, I ain't advancing fast enough. Just be patient because telekinesis is for those who work hard for it. Any psychic ability. It's for those who work hard for it. You feel me? If you work hard for this, you deserve these psychic abilities. I feel like we ain't supposed to just wake up and know how to do this shit. You feel me? Because a lot of people want these abilities, but they don't want to put in the work, and they don't deserve them. Now, there's people that practice this shit every day, that dedicate a lot of time and energy to this shit, and they advancing highly. They becoming stronger. So, and they absolutely deserve it, dude. You feel me?
You gotta also the visualization is so critical to moving the object with the mind, right? But you gotta also remember there's other forms to generate the energy, like palm chakras, right? If the child knows he got chakras in his palm, you can use a palm chakra exercise to strengthen your whole aura.
Mm,
You know,
definitely, definitely.
and once you learn how to do it, where you can push pull left right hand energy from one to the other, the stronger you make the field between your hands, the stronger your spirit body. Go back to what we was talking about earlier about the spirit body and astral travel, right? I got a series of exercises that I build on top when I'm doing one-on-one teaching to show people stuff. Like right now, like on here, it's like a lot of stuff. Like I need like the chalkboard, and this is how you, and this is what you see. Going through the steps,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes the know-how is first understanding the mechanics. If you don't know you're supposed to pedal the bike, when you get on it, you're gonna fall
Exactly,
over.
exactly.
So you understand the mechanics of how the bike works. When they first told me to ride a bike, they say you get on, you sit here, you steer with the handlebars. You got to learn how to balance, but you pedal to move forward. You push backwards to push brakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they put me on the motherfucking bike. You roll my ass down the hill,
Mm, mm,
and, and I crashed a
right.
thousand times before I learned how to ride. But guess what? Didn't nobody ever entertain the idea or the philosophy of some shit called quit.
Exactly. It
It
ain't
took
no
me it
quitters.
took
It
me
ain't
some
none of
years
that.
to learn how to ride a bike.
Hey, so look, guys. So you touched on on a very important topic. You feel me? As far as hand chakras, and that's why I'm saying, like, you feel me? Like, when you feel me, truth is being spoken, you feel me, when it's in alignment with what you already know. So it's like the way we teach, you feel me, Joe, telekinesis, you feel me, when I get one-on-one consultations, I go in depth, and hand chakras, you feel me, a lot of us, we can use the hand chakras, but a lot of our hand chakras are blocked. The hand chakra, and we have to reactivate the hand chakras. I teach how to reactivate the hand chakras, and also how to project subtle energy from the hands, because the hands is a conduit for releasing subtle energy. Subtle energy is the energy that can't be measured, but you know it's there because you can feel it. And this is it's in the palm and the fingertips. So, but a lot of us, so in telekinesis, a lot, bro, when if I'm a little rusty and I got a lot on my mind or whatever, I'll be sitting here trying to move an object, and it won't move because my hand chakras is blocked. So a lot of times, you feel me, I do a quick practice. Shit. I do a quick practice. How to activate the hand chakras, and it's deep because you can use this same practice for healing purposes as well. You feel me, Joe? Motherfucker got sore back or anything. This 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 is subtle energy. How to create subtle energy. I'm pretty sure people know about the chi ball, but I activate the hand chakras, and it's a process. You feel me? It's very quick. What I do is take the thumb, do like that for like 10 times. On each hand. 10 times. If you do it, you'll notice too. Matter of fact, if y'all in the comments, try this. I want you to, I'm finna release your subtle energy. And if you practice with this, you move physical objects without touching them. This is called telekinesis. So 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do this for like 15 seconds. 2, 3, 4. What this does, this get the energy flowing, and this ain't no pseudoscience. You're gonna feel the energy in your hand, and you're gonna be like, yo, I know I can utilize this energy. And that go to a different part of the, you feel me, of the breakdown. So after you do that, You want to face the palms forward and twist the wrist like this. That's it. After this, do this for like 10 seconds. That's it. I can feel the energy in my hand right now. This is great for healing purposes and telekinesis. It may be great for other things too. You're going to feel a tingling sensation in your hand. All in your palms is going to be like pulsating. You feel me? And your fingertips is going to be tingling. Your palms is going to be pulsating. And once this is how you activate the hand chakra. Like my fingertips, they feel like it ain't even like an uncomfortable feeling. It just feel like you feel. I know it's energy there, and that energy is subtle energy. So you feel. And then if you want to, you start making your chi ball. Start developing your chi ball. You feel me? However you want to do it, shit. But this is how you activate your hand chakras, and this is like it's deep, bro. Because if we practice doing taking these prerequisite steps, a motherfucker will be advanced in telekinesis. They'll be at the head of their class. You feel me? But that's very important because the way I teach is I got a formula. It's called EIE. Empathy plus EIE equals TK. That's empathy plus intention plus energy equals telekinesis. So empathy plus intention plus energy equals telekinesis. We develop an empathetic connection with the object. This is the visualization process. You feel me, Joe? Before we even start to project the energy or raise the intention. Now we raising the intention, which is the I part. Raise the intention while losing the thought. You feel me? Now that's the E part, which is the energy part. Now you have to project that energy out because as you raise your intention, your energy is going to build up. You gotta learn how to project it out. And it's deep though, like you said, through practice, man. All of us have telekinetic abilities, but most of us don't have the time to develop them. This takes consistent practice. You feel me? Like hours a day, every day. You feel me? To be like to.
Yeah. A few months back, I did a video. This question that's up in the box now. I did a video, and I was reaching out to Dane Calloway to secure records, our records that go way back.
They got them in the Vatican, don't they?
No, not those. These are here on our land. They in the national parks. The biggest archive is in it's in the Plains states. I think it's in Missouri. But anyway, in the video, I was going over showing where our family books was, or our family grimoire. Family grimoire, or we call them our family's book of life. And this is where where our books end is where their system picks up.
So that's that family Bible that people used to have, and that's where they get that concept from.
Right. So the Bible was the transitional book. But before the Bible came over here, we was keeping records in the family book. It was just called the family book. Some people called it Big Mama book. But this is how we kept track of who would be born when, based on the day they was born and the day they left. Doulas submit the information. Every family's supposed to have their own doula center. For the women, we ain't supposed to go to the hospital in front of these spotlights to have babies. We ain't supposed to do that. That's what they be saying. It's the same as being in black when they flash you. When they say they seen the bright light that erased their memory. This is what they talking about. But the memory is it's pieced together in a way that you're not really realizing that bright light you seen that erased your memory was in the motherfucking delivery room.
That's wild. Yeah, me and my girl, we keep talking about just making sure we tap in with a doula, because it's really unnatural. When you just sit down and think about it, they got us doing a lot of unnatural stuff, even the toilets we sit on. You know what I mean?
Women supposed to have an option for what you call a water birth or a dry birth, right? The ones who brought Admiralty law is called a water birth or a dry dock, right? So it's still the same thing, but they took control of our birthing process. They switching our babies in as children
they know who they is and who they when they steal your baby when it's born, it make sure that while your wife incapacitated, they don't switch the baby out with a dead baby and tell her it was stillborn. Well, at this point, they know where they sending this baby. They know what family, because they doing this nature nurture experiment with the human. Been doing it the whole time, part of the eugenics program, right? We blazed the shit out of Margaret Sanger stinking ass about eugenics, right? But the eugenics doctrine was written by Enki for the purification of the blood of the righteous.
And
right?
they flipped it like everything else.
Yeah, they turned it around and used it backwards against us.
I hate to keep bringing that that goddamn show up, but Lovecraft Country, boy, that's just
it's all in there.
It is.
American Gods too.
Yep.
It's all in there.
Yo, Orlando,
that's what they made those. Yeah, all that was to show you who we was, and that all of the masters that's ever been on Earth is in born in America during the close of the age to close this shit out. This is how the Eritrean Nipsey Hussle reincarnated Haile Selassie end up in California. How the fuck that happened? But don't nobody know he Lil Rah-Rah from Outlaw, because they don't know how to pay attention. If you remember in the beginning of Outlaw, he said, Lil Rah-Rah, what you gonna be when you grow up? He said, man, I'm gonna be an outlaw. That's Nipsey. 11-year-old, that's 11-year-old Nipsey.
And then his whole message.
Look, Nipsey. So
that wise beyond your ear, wise beyond your age, is always a reincarnation type of thing. Because Nipsey been wise beyond his age since just going back watching some of his younger videos. Like he was too wise for.
Look, he was under the tutelage of Tupac when he was like 7, 6, or some shit like that. And Tupac still called him and talked to him to this day.
Damn.
He had to call him in Eritrea right now because he had to be extracted because they was trying to murder him for real. We just couldn't let that shit happen.
So I seen this video because you said they still talk to each other. So I seen a video saying that Pac is like a kill the MC, even Biggie's still alive, and who else was it? And
kill the MC, not Tupac, but Tupac was at All Eyes on Me premiere with Shock G in Hollywood movie makeup.
Yeah, and then the last one was Eazy-E. Those three, it like showed a video of those three together randomly. Some all in where they say Tupac.
Eazy-E was one of the chiefs, one of the chiefs from the West Coast. His number is 88. That's the City Queen. If anybody do something to Eazy-E for real, if Eazy-E, they not finna kill Eazy. That'll make their whole fraud be exposed instantly. When the 88 City Queen, that means that he got the blessing of the High Queen on the land. Right? So they can't touch him. He's one of the what you call untouchables. You can kill him, but it's going to be severe consequences if you do. And if you the opposition, you know you're not supposed to kill him, so you're going to try to get one of us to do it. Right? And that's how they've been getting away with it, because they've been using us to kill us.
That's a good question, Temple by Nia. So she said, so every person was a chief or something close. Basically, if you make it a celebrity status, you've already...
Yeah, so all of these celebrities that come out of our community was the chiefs in going undercover. Since the 70s, we start infiltrating Hollywood to use the big screen and to use the music industry to expose what was being done on the land. We know how to put the message on the drum. Listen to the music of the 70s. It'll be telling you in the 60s, 50s, Sam Cooke had a gospel song. And he said, Lord, there's a message in every song we sing. Right? Then the OJs come along in the 70s and say, there is a message in our music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gil Scott said the revolution will not be televised, and he told us to look for the ghetto code. Did it eat that?
In the music.
Yes. Because what he was doing, did it eat that? That's called scatting.
Mm-hmm. In jazz.
Right. And the spin-off, the scat, is what we call the knockback. The knockback worked like this. Did it eat that? Did it eat that? Remember, there's a song came from Germany in the early 80s called Din Da Da.
Oh,
Din Da Da, don't do, din da da.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's the scat on the ghetto code. Why is this fucking German using our ghetto code coming from Germany, making that shit into a hit over here? The only person in Germany that knew our code was named Adolf Hitler.
He did. He called his guys Jews.
He the only one who knew our code. And you can't teach it to nobody because it has to be part of your DNA. It got to be part of it, got to be in your DNA, or else it's not going to resonate and you're not going to never catch it.
Right.
Right? So now, let's go back to the beginning of hip-hop. Remember, it's a message in the music. Who started hip-hop? What was their names? A couple of the founding fathers.
What's the not cool in there?
Grandmaster Cool Herc.
Grandmaster Cool Herc.
Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Melly Mel. Grandmaster Cool C. Grandmaster Cool C. Right? Now, the question at this point, if hip-hop is founded by all these grandmasters, what in the fuck is these niggas grandmasters of?
What lodge are the grandmasters with?
Now, that's the question to ask. Because now we talking about Nation of 5% Gods and Earths. Clarence 13X, who was murdered by some niggas. They look like us, but they ain't us. So when the 5%ers come out, Rakim, X-Clan, Redhead Kingpin, Poe Righteous Teachers, Q-Tip, all these motherfucking 5%ers is flooding the music industry with ghetto code. If they flood the music industry with ghetto code, go back to the 91 Ice Cube interview with the news reporter, and she was asking about gangster rap. He said, we don't see ourselves as gangster rappers. We see ourselves more like reporters. We just giving a report to the public on what's going on in our community.
Right.
Yeah.
So they really dancing with the devil to try to figure out, get the cheat codes. Bro, that fucking show gave away everything. I already knew it gave away a lot, but it was the same thing. He went back into the lodge knowing that they would try to use him to gain more access to higher level realms, but he needed to get the information so he can get it back to his people. Right.
Now, what did Tupac say? Now, this is like 2 or 3 years apart. Tupac said that I don't know what the solution is, but I know this. If I keep talking about the dirt in the community and how bad it is in the community, somebody got to come along and clean that shit up. Ain't that what he said? Right?
Yep.
Now, every time you run into a major hip hop issue, where do all of the rappers go?
You said when it comes to a major hip hop issue, where the rappers go?
Yeah. Who do they go to solve their problems?
Oh, you talking about Jay?
I'm gonna give you a clue. Second round knockout, Cannabis. I'll let you kick a verse. Fuck it. I'll let you kick them all. Then wait for your studio audience to depart. Then I kick you when you're growing, stick you for your Vanguard award in front of your first, second, and third born. Have your wife get on the horn called Minister Farrakhan so he can squash this. I said, no, he started this. He forgot what a hardcore artist is. Who did he call? Who did he tell his wife to call?
Oh, Farrakhan.
A few of you in a few smoke-filled rooms, right? making plans while the brown, yellow, black, white, poor, struggling are suffering. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That ain't no coincidence. Farrakhan was a violinist. He got a love for music. That means that if it's a message coming on the music, he can catch it if don't nobody else catch it.
Mm. So that's what MJ was doing when he was that he was sending codes.
All that's codes.
Mm. Yo, that's wild.
Yep. So the chiefs move around on the land and relocate regularly to find out how to read different parts of the culture from different parts of the land. This is why I end up having residents at different times on multiple places on the land. I done lived in Mississippi. I done lived in Tennessee, Georgia, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Michigan, because I have to become familiar with the different ghetto codes across the land so I could put all of the pieces together to see who don't belong here. And this is how we was able to communicate messages from as far back as 1492 to now without never losing the integrity of the message. Because it's already in the public domain. So all we got to do is tell everybody where the original message at.
Mm.
So when you go back to the arrival of the conquistadors in South America, the elders said they didn't see no ships. Why would they say that when they know what a ship looked like? Because they've been trading with West Africa and they've been trading with East Asia for thousands of years. They know what ships look like.
Mm-hmm.
The settlers blamed it on their cognitive dissonance. But our elders knew the strategy they were already implementing at that time.
Mm.
So they made sure that it was understood that didn't no ships come unloading us off, we was already here.
Yep. Yeah, you and Dane definitely need to tap in for sure.
Yeah, Dane is the certified grid on the land. He got to lead the sorting of the documents on the turnaround.
Okay.
And every tribe got to send him a research assistant, and he can organize that. But that's his job. That ain't my job, so I'm not worried about it. He'll take care of what he's supposed to take care of because he been taking care of what he's supposed to take care of.
Yeah, he been diligent, consistent. And man, definitely on his job. Okay, next question. We got Oshun. You see it right there? It says, have you read the letter from Trump telling the companies to zero out all accounts?
I haven't read that letter.
Yeah. But
it doesn't surprise me because all of the banks is about to go belly up any day now, because on the 4th of July was the last day that the Federal Reserve was allowed to print fiat. There's no more fiat being printed currently. So all that came to a stop on the 4th.
Wow. That's so you feel like they knew they wouldn't be able to print anymore, so they tried to come up with the cryptos of the world?
No. The currency got to change over to a gold-backed or a substance-based currency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Gross domestic product, gross national product is sufficient to what you call support any currency we choose to use. But we can't use fiat because nothing backs it. The only thing backing the fiat currency is debt, and debt is slavery. So it's a system of slavery being imposed on the people without their knowledge.
Mm. Okay, this question a little different. Let me go to this one first. If you take all your money out, this is just, I've been telling people, like he said, if it's going to be gold back, get you some gold. So you could, even if you really want to, you could transfer it to whatever.
Well, what's going to happen, because if you go back to our video I did on Facebook, it's called the $1 trillion recovery plan. It's the instructions on how to secure the finances of each person with money, so that nobody can can go bankrupt on the flip. Only thing can happen on the flip If you got fiat, we're gonna buy the fiat from you, right? But it's gonna be destroyed. The only reason we buying it so that the holders of those credit notes are not penalized for the dirt that the dirty motherfuckers did.
Mm. Okay, so
So
they actually came out with something to rectify that.
right. So they want to use quantum encryption because quantum encryption makes sure that you can no nation or no country can use more money than they have on reserve at any given time. So nobody can go bankrupt. Right. So let's say, for instance, we call a construction crew in to rebuild the highway because it's all, worn. And the company was going to get paid in fiat. Well, we're not going to pay them in fiat on the flip. They might lose some employees and the company might go belly up. But when they get the payout on the flip, they're going to get paid in gold-backed currency.
Mm.
That way they can establish their company, restructure, and then they can go back into business on a cash basis where if you do a job, you get paid the value of what you did in a currency that's backed by something, substance.
Okay, bad. Oh, buddy said he sent that document to your DM.
Okay, I'll look at it when we get done. What's the best method of tapping into my Akashic records? So first, before you can tap into your Akashic, which gives you past life information, you got to learn how to read your present life.
Mm.
So you go over your life and you review your struggles, what you learned, and why would Big Mama have you learn that is the question that you following when you're doing this research or this life review. If you don't wait till you dead to flash your life in front of your eyes, you can see clearly your mistakes and your recoveries, and then you'll know what you've been trained to do.
Mm. Yeah, that's wild. So basically, you need to have a near-death experience before you.
It don't have to. It's
No, I'm just.
yeah, but it goes back to the proverb. It say, "He who dies yet lives finds eternal life." Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the death of the ego. And the death of the ego purifies the self for the higher self to assume the position that was previously occupied by the ego. Can you read the rest of that question? I can't see the whole thing.
Yeah, I got you. It's like it's one big movie Hollywood premiere. One big Hollywood movie premiere. That's the end of the question. Yeah, it really ain't really a question.
Why have this whole show of having Biden the play president? What else?
Or Trump has always been the main man in charge. Why have this whole show of having Biden to play president, or Trump has always been the main man in charge?
It's a show. It's a shit show. It's done sloppily on purpose to show you that it's a show.
Mm.
So what the purpose is to cajole people into using their brain, making you think outside the box you in. By showing you the blatant contradictions in plain clear view and you don't pick up on it, you really asleep still. Right? It's so much information on social media with old and new pictures of Joe Biden where you can just is not the same motherfucker.
Clearly not. Ears, right. Nose.
It's about in total it might be about 20 different Joe Bidens over the years.
You seen that one they had walking through the airport with his own with his own stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, somebody said biggest hoax of all time. Facts.
Yep. Now our job is to basically pull the curtain off the band behind the curtain.
Wizard of Oz.
Right? Yeah, Wizard of Oz shit. And the yellow brick road is all paved with our gold.
Mm-hmm.
But where is they going? To the Emerald City, right?
Right.
The Crystal
City.
City, the Crystal City is to land on Emerald Lake in Colorado.
Yo. So you know, I'm aware that these movies are really, they telling us the truth. So Avatar, right? I want, you mentioned it earlier, get one of them old maps. For whatever reason, when they was in that war room and they were showing like the scale of the land and they were showing like the big tree, it was like a holographic presentation where they were showing the scale of the land that they were trying to, and they were showing where all the deposits were for the resources they were trying to steal under the big tree. They literally left a trail to show you how far away from DC the actual big tree was that they never wanted us to get back to. So that's crazy. They don't want us to get back to, like you said, the Emerald Lake or wherever, to where we now have the rights to our land.
They can't stop us because Big Mama told me to find the problem and show it to y'all. And that's why I take the time and try to explain as clear as possible what I'm seeing. Then with the references, you know, telling you the names, the people, right? So one of the most important lectures that most of us missed was that Taj Reawakening Minds last week, Friday, the Unum Sanctum and the I think it was something like the tax wars. Right. That was a very, very important message for us. And a lot of us haven't looked at it. We don't know about it. But the message is so important that we need to all be sharing it and making sure that other people is watching, listening to what he say. Now, the rule is this. If you don't understand what he's saying, because he's using a lot of legalese, break down what he's saying bit by bit until you understand it clearly. When you understand it clearly, you're going to clearly see what he is telling you is how we supposed to respond to the end. Now the contract is up. His civics takes the next level. It goes from teaching you what civics is to now how to implement your jurisdiction using the civics outline. Right? Because now we no longer under the contract. He don't have to teach us how to navigate the contract. Remember I said Noble Drew Ali was doing two things at the same time. He was showing us how to overthrow the jurisdiction, but he was also teaching us how to navigate the contract until the time comes where we know how to run government. Now we can run this shit out the government. We know how to run this shit now. Because all we got to do is put the power where it's supposed to be. Every mayor is supposed to be a woman. That's why the position is called mayor. Mayor is a female horse. It's the town mothers that's called mayors.
Yeah, so they flipped it. They took our matriarchal society and flipped it to a patriarchal.
Everywhere where the women had power, they put me in there.
And I know you go over this question a lot. You answer this a lot. Why is the music industry how it is today? But if you want to drop it for, you can.
Go ahead with the rest of it. It's drugs, what?
Oh, drugs, killing, etc. Oh, it ain't showing you the whole questions?
So the music industry is how it is today because it was created by the same people that was overthrowing our system, that was occupying our land. When you go back, it's a movie on YouTube about the origins of Hollywood. You'll see the double head Scottish Rite flag being marched down Hollywood streets when it was a dirt road.
Word.
Because they the ones who created Hollywood. Hollywood is a mass mind control mechanism.
For sure. The holly tree is like that's what they use for wands. So they
Magic
just cast spells. They casting spells all day.
That big old castle that used to be Disney, that was what we called the big house. That shit wasn't built in no 1900s. Nobody used that construction style in the 1900s.
It's like
that's what we We call it in modern times old Gothic construction. They don't use that. They haven't used that construction style at least since the 1000 AD mark. So the castle of Disneyland had to be there at the soonest it could have been built is around the year 1000 AD. So it's at least 1,000 years old. We all left the big house to come fight the Seminole Wars. That's why it was empty when they got there.
Wow.
Most of us don't know. I did a whole video showing the castles on the land. Most of
already. Now y'all don't have to believe me, but if I was y'all, I would listen. So I'm gonna go through my comments to see if any is what over Angelo. I just got on here. Why was I the only one? I already told you that answer, kid. I'm the only one did the work. So the women is the only ones that can push the envelope, because they don't think that none of the women is going to step up and be like, fuck that, don't wait on them motherfuckers, I go first. They don't think y'all do that. And they think that if it do, I'm only going to get like 5 or 6 of them. They don't think y'all don't recognize this shit for what it is. As long as we've been praying for this shit, y'all don't recognize it for what it is. Get the fuck out of here with that dumbass shit. So, Portia, as we went over on the video that Queen made me do last night out of nowhere, is I placed her in charge of collecting the information or passing out the information to the women because of several factors: sincerity, diligence, and what you call commonality or mutual contact. I stay in touch with her a lot. She do a lot of research and we share information, and she the one that fit the profile I was given for the one who sends out the information. I was given a profile I had to match, and she matched. So I asked her to lead the dissemination of the information to the women so they know how this shit supposed to be broke. All the guys had to do is, like, for instance, if your girl got a Facebook page or something like that, have her, all she got to do is contact Portia. She gonna tell her exactly what to do. This shit ain't hard. If y'all want out of this shit, I get y'all the fuck out. If y'all don't want out of this shit, I get me the fuck out, because I can leave by myself. I don't got to take a motherfucker with. I can rebuild all this shit over again like I did several times before. These motherfuckers got so mad at me, they blew the whole goddamn galaxy out of position. Think about that. Trying to stop me, they blew the whole galaxy out of position. Fucking with my mama. Fucking with my mama. You think I'm not gonna motherfucking bring the heat behind no shit like that? And so anyway, it worked like this. Remember yesterday I talked about the stone being hewn from the mountain without hands. Well, I'm the stone. The mountain that I was hewn from, the fair mountain, fair as in beautiful, as in Sun Wukong was cut from a mountain of flowers, or flower mountain, or the beautiful mountain. So it was on top of Fairmount. It was on top of the Fairmount where I made the oath and the agreement in order for me to receive what I needed